Hello. Having kind of a low energy Wednesday. I think I'm gonna poke around in a sort of intentionally uncompromising way to see if I can make hooks happen in tests. That seems like a thing I want. I think I want to take another pass at hooks and wheres. I'm gonna pull up wheres as well. Anding two wheres together. Yep. Just call it SQL and. That seems great. Alright. So I think, so to start, just as like a set the stage for some spec code I'd like. I have this. I have some SQL delete stuff. I have like a few different ideas of things that I think could go better about this. I feel pretty good that this SQL delete stuff works. I have an execute that now seems to do the correct thing. But here, there's just like a bunch of pieces of this that are procedural that I don't think give us much by being procedural this way. Specifically, like, I don't know. This seems like it wants to be, like, if I were writing this in, like, RSpec in, like, a really fleshed out language, I'd probably have, like, let connection be this, and, like, I'd probably just, before, like, expect connection to be successful or whatever. But this seems like maybe it's out of scope for right now. I'd probably have like a before. Like what we care about here is testing the delete. So I probably would want like a before hook that would like execute do the insert, right? Like, or maybe even I would have like some fixture data here. It does get interesting though, like at what level, like if I'm being like super honest, like in Ruby land, I'd probably call this like user one, and like I'd do like fabricate user with an email of like test to delete with light expression. Like I'd probably do like this. And I have more users. And I made some weird choices here that like here when I'm testing SQL delete, I'm trying hard not to test, I'm not like messing with SQL insert. I think maybe that's a good idea. Maybe there's like value in this. So maybe I wouldn't want to test at like a higher level of abstraction here. So maybe I'll just like sketch out like one before hook that seems like it would be nice. Let's say like before we execute, we're gonna grab our connection. Maybe in here we'll just like grab a connection. I think that because of the way that we're doing this with macros, that everything here is gonna be like I think that this is fine. Although I probably want to keep this expectation outside. Maybe I'll start here and make sure this actually works first. Oops. My fonts got small. Alright. So if I Undeclared identifier. That's not what I was expecting. Kind of figured this would have like lined up. Let's look at RSpec, like JSpec base. So when we do a describe, we insert internal into the body, but this expand, yeah, it doesn't. Right, so we insert internal meaning we get access to these, but not necessarily that. I wonder if, like, I don't know, does this help? Yeah, that seemed like a bad idea. So, okay, I think to expose something outside, like from this context into here, we'll have to get clever. So yeah, let's just add a before hook. And it's going to get its own JRack or PG connection. This uses like shared static state though. That seems like it's fine. And it's going to do the insert. And then, I don't know, do I need to worry about grabbing the IDs out? Dang, I probably do. Suddenly I feel like this before hook is not as interesting a concept as a let hook. As like a let to like specify some fixture data. Let's do it. Let's define let. And will it use like strings? I don't know. Let's call it execute insert results. Like probably what we care about is just the IDs, yeah? Let's call it like user IDs. Let's just like see what happens with this maybe. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna call let with user IDs and some code. This is gonna be defined in here. Just like throw it up top. Name is a string, and it's probably got to be known. Compile time, body is a code. It almost certainly wants to be a macro. Does it? I think in order to insert it, like it sort of has to be a macro. No, that's not quite true. Let's see what's going on here. Oh man, this is going to be just like the befores. We're not going to be able to just like mutatively add lets. We probably need to set some lets in here. So maybe we'll call it like a width that we pass into a describe. That's like a Lispy thing, but like I think it's cool. Man, I'm like all over the place with this plan. Really brainstorming and changing course and pulling the rug out from under myself as I go. So, alright, maybe this spec is kind of long. Let's describe like a little thing. So you're gonna describe like just something like a little bit simpler. I'm gonna say with I don't know, let's give it like an array literal. And like we'll have like some bindings. And then give it like a let's like leave this as body for now. Okay, and let's say I don't know. Name will be like some num. Value will be like 12. And then here I want num to exist and be set to 12, let's say. Just like find a way to get this binding together. And is that what I want? Alright, I'm gonna stew on this for a sec. I'm taking a bio break. Be right back, team. Hello. Get rid of that. Alright, just me. That makes sense. No one joined when I was away. Alright, is this what I'm thinking? I'm thinking to describe with a width and a body. Cool. And I think I'd want... Oh yeah, this isn't like syntax yet. It's like it... I don't know. Propagates... Fixtures... yeah. And then maybe like a describe in a nested context. It still propagates fixtures. This seems important to nail as well. Expect. Yeah? Alright. Cool. So now top level we'll just work with nested describe for now, which like that seems fine. And we're gonna have like a width, which is gonna take a set of like bindings. I don't know. Like it's certainly gonna need a T and like maybe a name. I don't know. Let's just like try some stuff out. Like, does this make more sense? Should I say like a fixture of num int? Maybe this can be inferred. 12? Like, is this... But the thing is that that's going to need to be... I wonder if here... we're not going to have closures, though. This probably does want to be, like, some kind of code. I've gone all in on code blocks in this. And let's just, like, see what happens. So for now, let's go for just, like this. And then maybe we can sneak in run directives. And then maybe we can, like, see if we get something better to do. So we get, like, a value of t... Great, and I don't know. Like at this point, we might want just like a proper data structure here, and it might capture like the description and the bindings and everything, the fixtures and everything. Let's look though. All right. Context does seem like a pretty convenient place to throw this stuff. Especially because it'll like stick with everything through multiple different hops and scopes and things. Like we're doing all this insert internal business, but that means that like if you have like a function call or something and you try to like expect from within a function, like you probably won't have a binding, a proper binding for, I don't know, expect, right? Well, where's expect bound? Yeah, maybe it'd be fine. Maybe it'd be fine. But if you tried to like encapsulate a bunch of like its in some kind of a trait definition that you call with a function and then drop them in, you'd have a problem. We're just making like everything all the way down needs to right, like have this stuff available. So maybe enriching this context is like just a pretty good idea. And it's in a test environment. It seems like a reasonable time to be sort of like uncompromising in terms of the context business that we want. Okay, let's say a nested describe now has this width, which is an array of type fixture. I want to get that out of here. Alright, we got this. Okay. I don't know, let's see. So we got this business. Let's go add contacts, fixtures. is going to be an array of fixtures and starts out as an empty array. Let's call it spec fixtures just to be a little bit safer. J-spec fixtures? Is that too much? And in here, where do we mess with context? It's like down here. I always forget exactly the, great, okay. And this isn't what we want to play with. What we want to play with is new context JSpec fixtures is going to get an array of size width plus context count of fixture, and what do I want to do? I want to, like, for context of JSpec fixtures, new context JSpec fixtures bracket index gets it, and then for width and is this what I want? I think I want that, and I think I want to say like this. What's interesting, I think I just want to do an insert and sneak in that description. But what's tricky is, like, is this referencing like my outside description? My child description? I wonder if insert internal lets you be, like, specific about exactly which bindings sneak through. Are there, like, exotic ones of these? Any novel ones?
Huh?
I mean, for expansion, kinda, right? Yeah. Let's just leak new context. Maybe that's fine. Alright, I bet this doesn't even work, though. Let's see if we just try to run this. Alright, let's go to line 14. Oh, semicolon. Always a missing semicolon. Okay, and this width needs to get an empty array. Attempt to match a uniliteral with a polymorphic type. This would not define the type of the struct literal, so it doesn't make sense. Yeah, okay. I think that we don't want this to be there. Fixture name value 12. And these want to be equals, don't they? Right, okay, so fixture is no longer polymorphic. Well, it is, but just on the type, which is fine. I don't know. Let's just call value any for now. I don't know, that's probably gonna bite us. Let's just, like, get this thing moving, huh? Attempting to bake this parameter, but it's being cast to a non-constant value in order to match the required type. Parameters declared as type that cannot be constant. Fixture is non-constant. Oh, is it because any is like inherently non-constant? Let's just make it have to be an int for now. Still non-constant. Alright, I have no idea what I'm doing in this language. Maybe this is fine. I want to say num gets 12. And this is no longer that, it's just a code. It's just going to provide some bindings up there. We'll insert the widths. We'll have to do an insert internal on the widths. I'm worried about that, but let's see what happens here. I wonder if you can like join two codes together. So print those codes one by one. I don't know, let's see. Alright, so we got this width. We no longer need to play with this nonsense. Is there like a default value for a code? Not really, huh? You gotta make it like this? Just make it like an empty hash code, huh? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Empty code. Make this empty code. And then let's just say, like, we'll only mess with this business, like, if width is not equal to empty code. Then we'll say new context dot, what are we calling this? Let's call it like JSpec. Let's just call it widths. It's gonna be context.widths count plus 1 of type code. And then new context, right, so for context.widths, new context.widths, new context dot alright, we'll try that, and then still just insert internal on the body. Life is good. Yeah. What happens now? Oh. Give it some of that. Does that help? Undeclared. Oh yeah, this has got to be colon. Does that work? Nope. Still need that. Widths dot count non-constant expression in an array declaration. That sounds about right. So it's just going to be like a single width. If we have this, like, how do we join two codes together? go with like joined code is gonna be run yeah, there's no way this is gonna work, is there? Because I think context is like fundamentally malleable at runtime. And it's always going to be treated as non-constant. So we're going to have a bad time with this. Hmm. A real disappointment, this one. Well, I think I'm just gonna like revert everything I've done. What have I done so far? Yeah, I added some context, I messed with empty code, great. Get out of here. Okay, that's not happening. But what I am thinking is that, okay, one like lower goal that maybe we can attain, we can accomplish, is like, I don't know, wrapping this up in like a transaction even. Maybe that's something that we can do. Just give it like a before all and after all. Is that accomplishable? So let's give it like before all. And after all. And then maybe here I want to say like if before all is not equal to empty code, insert before all. And like if after all is not equal to empty code, insert after all. Can we even do this much? My hope here is that like we can like, I don't know, it's like a transactional rollback strategy maybe, right? At least like alright, let me take a step back and maybe explain myself a little. It's that so these specs like leave all this mess in the code base. Sorry, in the database. Oops. Where, like, if I grab a database connection, I've got all these users. I got tons of users. Look at all those users. They're all crap. They're all just test users, and it's because I don't have a great way to like start a transaction and roll it back. So let's do it, right? It's like yeah, let's like start the transaction and always roll it back. We got like begin. We just do begin, right? Great. I think I can just say like I'll execute a begin at the beginning, and execute a rollback at the end, right? Alright, execute. Just that, right? Does that just work? And then here, can I execute? Just like ship a rollback? Is this a thing? Is there a hope? Is there a chance that this might work? I'm gonna print like after I'll roll back and before I'll begin. Okay, let's see what happens. Nope, that's wrong. Alright, we did a begin, we did a rollback. We have a bunch of other things marked test. I think what I want to do is just disable in build.j. Disable this. Just like don't actually do it. Just like, disable that whole thing. Alright, and we can see we're at least like printing begin, we're printing rollback. And then if we hit the p-SQL, yeah. Select the number of users. 45. 45! Great, because without this, I bet we would see still 45. What? Oh, because we delete them all at the end of this spec, don't we? Alright, so for now, I think that we can get rid of this, like, I think I snuck this in here just to, like, be cute and to not have, like, leaky fixtures. But really what we care about is just, like, a delete. Delete condition. I don't know, where email matches. I don't know. Delete where. Let's call this like delete success. Alright. And now we should sell 45. Now we have 46. Great. But if I bring back this and run it, we should have rolled back, so we should still have 46. Alright, that feels nice. Great. Okay. Great. I did something. That feels kind of cool. Couldn't get to fixture data, but at least we could wrap things in a before and an after. I don't know if we're going to be able to do an around. Around seems like it's likely outside of the scope. I don't know, what would we do? We would like inject like a yield or whatever? That seems like too much. Man, I don't know. We could do an around all. So what I'm thinking is that like this before and after all hook, this really does seem like it wants to be an around all, right? Like wouldn't this be cute if we had an around all? We could say like grab the connection, execute begin, insert like it, and then execute the rollback. Right? Could be cute. Yeah, I think I can do this. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so if before I was not empty, insert it. Maybe I'll call it like body. That seems useful. That seems like a nice name. Alright, so if around all is not empty code, then we want to set body to body and insert, I don't know, let's like start here. Just insert internal around all, else, oops, let's just insert the body. I knew it. Right, because we lost the description now, because we're 2 layers of indirection. Yeah. Yeah, let's punt on around all. Why mess with that? We have something nice. Around is a cute concept, but let's like not worry about that yet. What's next? We sort of got this. We have like some transactional rollback business. That's kind of cool. Maybe we should like sneak the same business in here. Let's get rid of around all. I could see that like it'd be cool to have this inside of like an internal describe as well, but we're not gonna like use it quite yet. Yeah, we're just inserting these. They don't get the internal behavior. Oh, you know what? I bet around all would have worked if we would have done an insert internal in the around all up here. But man, the fact that we need to like codify and like demand that much from all those bindings. No, thank you. This. Oh yeah, missing a comma. Cool. The tests pass. All right, great. So now, I mean, we could here, we could be like describe with, I don't know, some fixture data in the database. Although we really care about these IDs that get returned from here, and those are going to be hard to, there's not going to be any way to get that into, yeah, that sounds like a real Rube Goldberg device. Like, what I was getting at was it might be cool to, like, we could maybe actually pull this out into, like, a before all for just a single it expectation, where, like, the it would just be, like, do the count, and then do the delete, and then do the count again. And the before all would say, like, get the fixture data in place. But the problem is that I think we really need these IDs. Yeah. Yep. So let's not do that. This feels kind of nice though. Alright, so we got SQL delete spec, we got some things working. I'm gonna probably commit. Yeah, we got some before alls. Love it. Cool. And I don't know, let's just keep on pulling out. Let's keep pulling out some specs, right? I feel like SQL and is like a real white whale situation. But I'm like not optimistic about trying to get there after my context failings here. So yeah, let's finally get a test. SQL execute. Oh, that might be a hard one to test with the assumptions that we're making elsewhere. Let's play with, yeah, that one's been commented out for good reason. Let's play with SQL update. That sounds cool. Sounds neat. Alright, so we start from here. And we want to run describe SQL update. We want the same transactional business. What? Delete? That's right. Okay, we want these to be the same. Oh, this is weird white space. Yeah, that's better. Alright, subscribing SQL update. We want the same before and after all. And then for our body, we can specify this code. Alright, we'll pull that all out into the body. Okay. And we definitely begin, definitely roll back. Love it. This feels like code. This feels like software engineering. Okay. I'm gonna do an insert. Maybe I want to copy the same patterns from before, where like when I'm testing at this level of abstraction, I like don't want to like I want to use like the sort of closer to bare metal SQL API stuff. Yeah. So I'll probably insert something like this instead of defining this like right. Yeah, I feel good about this. Because this user mutable fields business is used in the SQL update business that I'm running down here. I don't want to test insert and update and everything all together. I kind of want like more separate tests happening. So let's go for execute insert result is going to be a struct that just has an ID. I'm going to, oh, I need a database connection. I'll grab that like this. I want to do basically this. I think I only want to insert one and then just like update it and then like life will be fine. Although, alright, let's go initial at email.org and maybe just like some other user .org. I feel like maybe it'll be worthwhile to have like 2 bits of fixture data in here to make sure that the where expression is actually getting applied properly. Alright, I want to make sure that the insert result count is equal to 2. And here we define this. We no longer need any of this business. Do we want to play with like user repo? I don't think we do. Let's go for like user selectable fields. Let's go like user. We're just gonna have an ID and an email. And I think I want to do something like this. I want to like select the user, assert the email, the things are correct. Yeah. Alright, so let's go for like user to update ID is this dot bracket 0 dot ID and user not to update ID is gonna be the other one. Okay, and then this is all good. Cool. So let's make sure like initial user to update and success, let's just call it, is going to be execute, pass the connection, pass user, select, let's just do select ID email from users where ID equals something, and that ID is going to be user to update ID, and then we want to expect success to equal true, make sure it's successful, and then we want to expect initial user to update 0. Let's just call this like results. Results 0 dot, well, we need like results dot length to be 1. And then results bracket 0 dot email to equal, what do we call it? Initial at email.org. Great. Okay, so our fixture data is in. Cool. It seems like overkill. We don't need to worry about that. Alright. So we have our user mutable fields. We really just want to like run the update. That seems cute. Like a little unit test. Maybe we pull that out and do this somewhere else. What we want to do is like more of an integration test. We want to do this. We want to do that. X0 is going to be user to update ID. We want to execute. And this is really the only interesting bit, right? So, okay, so like results, updated results, success is going to be execute on connection with type user with string and with like user to update ID, select ID email from users where ID equals some placeholder, that placeholder, done, expect success to equal true, expect updated results count to be 1, and expect updated results. This like a new email that we picked, which is some new at email.org. Great. And then we should have like unchanged results. And here we want user not to update ID. And this we want to be the same initial email that we picked, which was some other user at email.org. Great. Cool. Okay, this feels fine. Yeah. This white space seems a bit off. No formatter. That's what I expected. Oh, I think I just missed on this white space. Okay, let's get that out of here. Let's get that out of here. Undescribe. For all after all. Like it. Updates. Records into database. I don't know. this is what I want. Always missing semicolons. Updated results. What's wrong with this? Oh, this should have been unchanged. Cool, we passed. Great. And then this doesn't want to be assert equals, it really wants to be like expect. That to equal that. But I think here, like what do I want to do here? I think I'll describe the whole file, and yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll have one code for like, because really I'm testing like two different things. One is I'm testing like this business, which like munges SQL expressions and like does some clever stuff and like glues things together. And then another, which is actually executing. And I think for the execute is when I really need like the database transactional rollback and stuff. But for the top level, it seems like overkill, right? So I will, is that like close to correct? Yeah. So I'm going to describe this much, get through the bottom of this whole spec, and this will just be the description for the actual execute. Yeah, maybe? I don't know, where am I? What am I lined up with here? Yeah, okay, that's the body. That's the end of this inner describe. And we hop 2 levels of indentation for no good reason. Okay, great. And we also want to describe, or maybe before that we want to describe like just SQL update. Because this is like a simpler story where all we need to do is like define a type and then make sure that we get the right business out of it. And we're like not bound by like actual database tables or anything, because this is all happening just like in memory. So like some update it's gonna have just like a bunch of fields, right? Let's go for like email, because like why not? And like I don't know, pets count is like a int, and like favorite pet ID is an int, and like I don't know. Date of birth. Born at. Is it string? I don't know. It's an int, and like favorite. Let's go for like percent complete is a float. Okay, and we want to so in there we'll call it just like test update type. Yep, and we'll call test update gets run SQL update on test update type. You know what, maybe I don't even need to name this type. I feel like what's the point, right? I'll like use an anonymous type inline here. And I can just expect stuff about it. Yeah, so I can just say like expect test update dot SQL expression to equal something wild, yeah? It's gonna be like email equals pets count equals favorite pet ID equals born at equals percent complete equals yeah, that's like not that interesting. I thought this was gonna be much more exciting. I wonder why my syntax highlighting isn't really doing what I would expect it to do here. Anyway, alright. Let's see if this passes. Hey, wow, it did. Are we sure this even ran? Let me just like print that. There we go. Cool, okay. I just nailed this test. Awesome. Okay, so now I may be like slightly concerned again that I think I trust my before and after all rollback things that are happening here. I think this is like probably working, but let me just like make sure that like that is not how you spell users. So we got 54 right now. Oh, that's right, but I'm still running my old tests. So if we go back to build, and if I re-disable this whole branch that runs other tests, I had 54. Now I have 54. Cool, so they're getting deleted. Nice. Okay, and do I still have the test in here? I do. Let's cut this. Don't need that anymore. Polluting the namespace. Great. Alright. That's cool. Make sure it builds after I've deleted that. Great. Awesome. I'm kind of curious. I don't know if I did anything fancy here, but like, what do my generated strings look like? Oh yeah, I did do some stuff here. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Maybe I should test this? I probably should, yeah. Alright, so I want to test that. Oh man, this expect shouldn't be possible in a describe. I should have like I don't know, should it? It correctly configures its SQL expression. Yep, okay. And then what else do I care about? I want like another it for like it correctly generates like those generated strings basically, right? These added strings are for they're for this to SQL update args. I want to make sure this works correctly too. And I wonder, man, it would be pretty nice if I could like throw this like here, you know? I don't think this is gonna work though. Yeah. Oh, using semicolon. Yep, test update doesn't exist. That's what I figured. Yeah, so let's like sneak this back in here. Cool. Paste this back in there. Fixture data would be super helpful for this, but it remains elusive. Mm-hmm. Okay, and what are we doing here? I want SQL update args gets test update. Alright, so I need to like construct one of these. I need to set its stuff. It's gonna have a great email. It's gonna have 3 pets. Favorite pet ID is 12. Born at is like, what did I call this? An int. I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I gotta figure out how to do dates at some point, and then percent complete is gonna be like, maybe just like 0.25. Let's like not play with floating point precision. Let's not risk it. Stick to powers of 2. Alright, so then SQL update args, I want to call test update dot to SQL update args on a pointer to test update. Which this syntax, boy, don't know if I really nailed it. I don't know if I really nailed it on that ergonomics. Is now a good time to revisit? Like this procedure that we hardcode onto here with like updatable fields that it takes as a pointer, and like this type and this type are also types built into this, and the way that we consume it is like ugly. Right? We like have an update of generic type update. We gotta call capital update dot to SQL update args on lowercase update. Like this is just a statically bound like method call. But the language doesn't support that, so whatever. Alright, now for each of these, I want to expect something. So here I want to expect, those are now erased, these are now erased. I want to expect SQL update args bracket something dot value pointer. Is that what it's called? How does any work? It's got a value pointer. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm gonna need to cast it. Cast it to a pointer or something of the value pointer. To equal these values. Right, okay. And then this one, the value pointer is a string. This one is an int. This is also an int, also an int. This one's a float. I think I'm missing closing parens on all of these. Okay. So I think this might work, right? So dereference the cast to the correct type of the pointer of this value pointer. Let's do it. Let's see what happens here. Blow up. Oh, I forgot to add the numbers. This is like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey! Wow, this is the longest, like, the specs actually passed spree that I've had in kind of a long time. Great. Alright. And, like, cool. Let's, I feel like correctly, of course the spec says correctly. Describe SQL update it. Generates a SQL expression setting all fields in the update struct type. And this, it like generates to SQL update args for all fields in the update type. Great. Love it. Cool. This feels real, and we have an integration test. Great. Awesome. Check that in. Make sure that everything still passes. And what if I just like break one of these expectations, like set that to like 0.35? Bam! SQL update .j SQL update generates 2 SQL update args for all fields in the update type failed. Expected it to equal 0.35. Got 0.25. Workspace spec blah 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 41.7. Love it. Okay, cool. And not succeeded. I feel like this maybe should like fail the build harder, but cool. Look at these specs. SQL update specs. Okay, what's next? SQL execute, SQL insert. I think this sounds more fun. In SQL insert execute, I needed to cut a lot of corners because of like problems I was having in the Postgres client before. And now that I'm doing Postgres in easy mode, who cares? What is this? Insert, that's spec. Great. Uh-oh. Did I delete all of SQL insert? No, but I think I grabbed too much. I did. I grabbed the implementation. Alright, this is just the test, it looks like. Great. Don't want this. Just want that much. Cool. Whew. Okay. So I think I just had another concept, another idea, which I think that like, so this is hard, but like testing, maintain a test schema, this seems like something that'd be useful. Like knowledge of the test database and the fact that the test database and the effective dev database for the stuff I'm working on is like bad news. It's cool that it's like playing nicely together, but that seems like this would be useful. And what I'm thinking is, like, this is cute, but it's like, and it's like, you know, 8 lines of code to copy around back and forth of just wrapping things in a transaction. But like, if I get to the point of actually wanting to like declare a test schema that I'm testing against and like grab my database connection, make sure the test schema looks about right, and then run my tests, I'm not going to want to, first of all, I'm only going to want to do that like once at the very beginning of the entire spec suite. I'm not going to want to do that at any describe level. And more importantly, I'm not going to want to copy paste all that code all over the place. I'll at least need to like extract it somehow. Right, and so I think that means that in this base, I'll probably need some like extension point to like declare a global before all or something, and maybe that would want to live like in here, where like specs run. You'd want to be able to configure like with what preconditions and stuff, you know, like what code to insert. I think that that's like part of the stubborn API actually, right? You can do right, you load the runner, and then here, right, you can like inject some code where like what I'm doing in specs run, I think I'm like hard coding information, or I've already added some stuff somewhere. How does specs run work again? I forgot. That's right. So I create a workspace. Oh yeah, and I'm adding this build file hard-coded. So like this almost certainly wants to be configurable similar to stubborn. And if that's the case, then like after we load this, we could likely, we'll have base.j, we could likely add some like run directives to like configure the test database and stuff. That seems fine. Yeah. I'm not too worried about doing that right this second, but we might want that at some point. Did I write this out? I did, right? Maintain a test schema, or generally like global hooks. Yeah. Great. Okay, but let's like run at this from here. So again, I have this like procedural spec, and it's doing some ugliness from when I was worse, when I was less good at this language, which I'm still far from like good at this language. Okay, so I think for the insert, we probably want to test two SQL insert args. We probably want to test the SQL expression. It's going to be basically the same like structure as the SQL update that we just wrote, but let's do it. So let's describe SQL insert. Let's describe, or like I guess like it. You know what? Maybe I want to like describe like SQL expression. That seems like slightly cuter. And then includes set expressions for all fields in the update type. Yeah, this seems more descriptive, right? And then here I want to like describe two SQL update args. And then grab this it. And say it like sets all fields, like includes all values from the update type. Okay, that seems a little bit nicer, yeah? And then here for SQL insert, I want to describe SQL expression. And then what do we care about? SQL expression, oh, right. It wants to look like this? Yeah. I wonder if we'll ever need like a bulk insert, in which case we'll be operating on like an array of these, and we'll need to generate different SQL. That'd be fun, right? And I wonder if then this is like a special case of the bulk insert with only one value in it. Yeah, let's go for it. Okay, cool. So it includes like value expressions for all fields. Yep, in the insert type. Yeah. Okay, so let's go for like test insert run SQL insert on an anonymous struct, which is gonna have height and nickname and favorite ice cream flavor ID. I don't know, why not? So then, yeah, I just want to like expect the test insert dot SQL expression to equal height, nickname, favorite, ice cream flavor, ID, values. Yeah, that looks about right. Yeah. Oh no. Should they be dollar signs? I think they want to be dollar signs, huh? Although it's interesting, in the update case, we fill these in with question marks until we hit the execute. Because at execute time, you can combine we have an update and we have a SQL where, and we like build up. Although I think like this could happen. I think this could happen at compile time. I'll come back around to it. What I'm thinking is like we certainly can't like fit the values at compile time into args. I think this has to happen statically, or this has to happen dynamically. But like, you know, this business, like update SQL expression and this like where string, I think all that is like available statically. So that could be pretty fun. Yeah? I think that's right? We can just mess with the SQL expression here. And like I think we know. Yeah, that seems like fun. Maybe I can play with that. But let's get back to this. Leaving these as dollar signs seems cool to me. Expect that. Great. I think this it is done. I'm gonna like comment this out and try to just run my spec. Are we green? We are not green. I'm missing a semicolon as always. Ooh. Oh, there's no ID. Of course we need an ID. I love that. Okay. And that's like that like adds like accept the ID. Right? No, I missed it. SQL insert. I'm just like missing a whole thing, aren't I? Because this takes an ID type. Okay, great. Should have known. Okay. We're green. Oof. Very noisy. You might hear some dog time soon. Describe to, what's it called? To SQL insert args. It includes, what do I call it in SQL update spec? All values from the update includes all values from the insert, probably, right? That sounds nice. Be conventional. I'm gonna really grab the same one. That seems nice. How about James Z? And we're gonna love ice cream number 543. Yeah? Yeah. And now we want to do the same thing basically that we did over here, which is to do this business, do the casting, get all that. Yep. Okay. So SQL insert args is going to be test insert dot to SQL insert args of little test insert, and then for each of these we want to say expect the dereference of a cast to something of SQL insert args of some bracket dot value pointer to equal and this is going to be 0, 1, 2, and this is going to be float string int. And always forget the semicolon. How many semicolons am I capable of forgetting in one attempt to build the code base? Great, we're green. Okay, and now the last thing, we've described sort of like the setup business and some unit test stuff. Cool. I want to describe a SQL insert execute. And this is the part that we probably want like befores. Let me grab the before hooks. Before all, after all, and a body. Before and after all are going to be conventional like that. And then the body does the insert. Cool. Okay, so let me uncomment this and do this business. And I think updated at and created at now, I can just call strings. And as long as I like format them in like SQL friendly, I don't know, 6. This is gonna be like more trouble than it's worth, isn't it? We'll see. Okay, so like we don't need to do this unit test anymore, or that, or that. Like ID type is boring. I think these just actually want to be strings. These I can now set to something. Fill out some details later. And then what happens? Just like do the insert, yeah? Bam. Expect that to equal true. Okay. So far so good. And then I'm going to want to find the user and assert some stuff about the user. Cool. I think in like finding the user, I probably want to play this game, right? Yeah, let's do that. So user is going to be a struct of ID, email, created at, updated at. Yeah, that sounds about right. And I want to like find the user, fill the user with data, assert the data on the user matches correctly. cool. So users success is gonna be execute with connection, which I don't even have a connection yet. Great. Oh yeah, don't roll back yet. Whoops. Alright, so with the connection, I want to fill a user struct with the results of select ID email created at updated at from users where ID equals $1 and the ID is going to be inserted ID. And I want to expect user success to equal true. I want to expect users.count to equal 1. Expect, then I'll get like user is user 0, and then for each of these I'll do an expectation. Expect user.email to equal, and yeah, that looks about right. I bet these aren't going to be quite right. I bet these have more information, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hey! Created at is of type timestamp without time zone, but expression is of type character varying. What a bummer. I'm going to forget about created at and updated at again. And let's just like expect the ID then. Bummer. I'm gonna have to figure out date types someday. Well, we're green. Cool. We can insert, we get the right SQL expression for things with a bunch happening, get the right value filling for things, and then down here we can play around, we can do an insert, do a select, find it, make sure the email matches up, make sure the ID matches up. Yeah, that seems like nice. What have we got? We just added a spec here and we deleted the other one. Oh yeah, and we were thinking about doing that at compile time. What did I change in SQL? Update. Oh. Was it just that to do? Is that all that I've done here? Excuse me. I think I'll unstage that, not check in the to do. Git restore stage source SQL update.j. Insert. What did I change about SQL update spec? Oh yeah, a bunch. I made it better. Love it. Okay, let's play with SQL update. And we have good tests on this now, so I think we can like do this. I think we can feel pretty good about this. So in the end, we're setting expression string. And alright, what do we use? Table name. Let's just like lock everything down, huh? Lock down table name. Update is already locked down. Where string just got built here. Where Oh, is that? Yeah. Right. I wonder. Assert SQL where. How about that? That's what I want. Yeah. Great. I think I like this. I think I like this. Although, like, I bet this breaks everything. 'Cause, like, passing in null here is, like, super convenient. But then, like, you know, null, there's not, like, an even null, like, we won't be able to infer a SQL where type for that. Well, let's see what happens. I don't know, where do we even call this? And then SQL delete, and SQL execute, we call it with a where. SQL delete, we call it with a where. SQL update, we call it with a where. We call it all over the place. Oh no. Is this a fun experiment? Let's save this for later. Oops, I went too far. There we go. Alright, let's stop there. Let's undo this. I'm gonna move this to do. Get rid of that and put it in my list and say implement SQL where's expression string building at compile time. That seems like fun. Oh my gosh. Still compulsively saving all the time. Cool. Okay. What has changed? Hopefully nothing. Compulsively saving and clearing forever. What other tests do we have? We have this commented out where test. Let's must select, yeah? That seems like a cool spec to write. We don't even we didn't even do anything interesting here. We're not even hitting the database. Oh yeah, that's probably in SQL execute, right? SQL execute is like the execute for a select. Alright. I'm gonna take a 2-second bio break. Be right back. Hello. Alright. Get this out here. So I think Why is this one so much harder than all the others? I guess like is select like more involved? Yeah, it kind of is, isn't it? Yeah, and it's also interesting because the select. It is funny how these are like so different, right? I'm just like thinking through like if this API makes any sense really, and I feel like yeah, like this select. I don't know, like if we really break down like how SQL works, it's like I hate that bottom split. I don't know, we got like a something from some table where, and I mean, I'm just trying to imagine, like it's fun. It seems funny to me that this API, right? In order to execute a select, you do this weird. You pass in like a type and the name of the table and a where. That feels awfully inconsistent. And I think it's like maybe it's like appropriate, but that's like a pretty strange API. And it's like, are there? I don't know. Like, could you like? You probably could do like exists like a subselect here. Like I wouldn't be called ID, but like I don't know has best friend and call that like exists select ID from users where friend ID. But like that's not quite right. Maybe from like friendships where friendship dot like destination friend ID equals users dot ID and like kind equals huh? And in that case then but like you're not gonna wanna you'll still want like in code to say like I'm trying to imagine a way that you would construct some subselect or some SQL expression or some anything really here where you need to like insert placeholder values where it wouldn't make sense, for example, to have select just be a type, but you'd really want it to be like a proper instance, right? Because like the reason that where needs to be an instance is because you do like SQL where of some stuff, right? Like this is a thing. But like this wouldn't be a thing. Yeah, maybe this is just like fine, you know, and maybe this even I'm just like worrying myself too much maybe. All right, let's write a spec. So what do we got here? I think we want to like mess with like of the stuff that gets returned. We should play with SQL expression. We should play with and without this business, which is basically what this test does already. Mm. What's it called? SQL expression. Cool. So let's go for like some test record. Well, I think I can just do like, what did I call it here? Yeah, test select is gonna be SQL select. Do I need to run in here? Probably, right? Yeah. On an anonymous struct. That's not where that goes. And this anonymous struct is gonna have like an email, like an ID, and let's go like full name, which is gonna be a string, and its SQL expression will be powered by like concat. Is that how concat works? How does like string concatenation? It's like pipe. Love it. Yeah? I wonder how that'll go. I wonder if pipes are like valid syntax in this. I wonder if like white space is. Okay, and I want to expect test select dot SQL expression to equal. How did I break down these lines? Yeah. Oh man. All right. ID in quotes, email in quotes, and first name pipe last name. Oh, and I should have, dang. I feel very concerned about this. I wonder what happens with white space in the middle of a note. That seems worrying. That as full name. Uh-huh. Let's go for it. I bet we get like a big explosion on this note. Yeah. It's like an at. No. Mm. Yeah, This might just be impossible to express in this language right now. Does that work? Nope. How do I, like, character literal? Is that a thing? No, that's not gonna be a thing. Alright, I'll just pick a different expression. I'll just, like, pipe them together. Expected it to equal ID email first name dash last name as quote full name. Got that, but without quotes on full name, which I think is good. Yeah, I think I want those quotes there, and I think that's like a regression. Yeah, as quote quote. Cool. Great. I wonder how out of control this file's getting these days. With all of the... This is not out of control at all. This is well under control. Okay. I thought this was going to be much worse. Because like in here, we're doing all these. I guess we're not actually like hitting the database yet for a lot of these tests. I had a perception, and this might still be true, but I carry some concern that these generated strings with like this level of like sort of like pre-computed business will quickly explode and be just totally unmanageable. But so far so good. Alright, let's get back to business. So that's kind of all that we do here, right? So we have a SQL expression, we have an ID and an email. I don't know if we do much else. We like play with the notes, build things together. That's it. We just generate the SQL expression. Yeah, oh, this should be inside of it. It joins, escapes, and joins all these struct fields. Great. Okay. That's fun. That's fun. Man, I think I do want to merge SQL execute, at least some business into here. Like, this seems like it really wants to live in SQL select. Yeah, let's do it. And here, I want to grab the before all, after all behavior from this. Right, because I'm going to be inserting data into the database, and I want to clear it all out afterwards. Body. Great, and I have a test, I bet it's in here for SQL execute. Cool. Alright, what am I doing here? Yeah, just like defining some kind of a select. I'm building up a where. I don't think I want to use wheres. Oh, wait, maybe I do want to use a where, because that's like what's under test. Yeah, okay. So I'll do an insert. Oh, and this is like, Right, this was before I even knew how to insert when I was writing this up. This is some of the first code that I was writing. I'm impressed that I was able to get object literals in here. Uh, but yeah, okay, so or struct literals. So I think what I want to do here is do an insert or two and then select with aware the filters to just the things that I've inserted and then do a rollback. that seems clever. It seems clever. Alright. Cool. So let's grab a connection. Let's completely lost my train of thought. Insert a couple records with emails that we'll be able to select correctly with uppercase business. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Execute connection insert into users value. Oh, right. Email values. Let's go for select spec SQL select spec at some email 1 at email.com. Let's give this one like funny capitalization. I think I picked the wrong letters to capitalize. Excuse me. Okay, so we're gonna insert those three. So user's email, all this stuff. I wonder why this doesn't have the same. Oh, dang. Okay, great. No placeholders, nothing. Just execute that much. Okay, now I want to say user with uppercase email is a struct. I think I just want to like immediately apply SQL select to it, right? Cool. And what have we got? We just have ID, user ID is an int, SQL expression of users.id, uppercase email, string, a SQL expression, upper users.email. Yeah, cool. Let's leave it at that. Great. Get this out of here. Let's get legible. Okay, and in my where users, where user has email matches. Oh, I made this pretty hard on myself, haven't I? I'm just gonna make these all lowercase. This seems fine. Maybe I'll change these. First email, second email, third. Okay, these are all going to be capitalized. I kind of wanted to play with that a little bit. That seems great. Where email user matches, it's going to be run SQL where on a SQL where of email like, huh? With one arg, where user, let's call this like with email prefix. With SQL select spec email prefix is a with email prefix type, and its args0 is going to equal SQL select dot spec underscore whatever email.com at whatever. Oh, these should be question marks. Cool. Oh, this is tricky. Oh no, these want to be percents, don't they? I think that SQL works. Alright, so now my results. What do results look like in this? Actual and success get SQL select execute. Whew. With select user with uppercase email from users with SQL select email prefix. Great. Maybe I'll give this like a success. And I want to expect success to equal true. And then I might need to write like an include or a contain exactly matcher by now, huh? I think I'm ready for it. I think this N is too bolted down. Why would I be that bolted down? So to contain exactly with some values returns a to contain exactly of t. Is that legal? What does 2 equal look like? Result. Let's call this matcher. This doesn't seem super legal. I wonder what's gonna happen here. Oh, and this wants to be not dot dot, but like that wants to be dot dot. Okay, cool. But this is the fun part. So matches with value of type value. I don't know, bracket value. Matcher is a to contain exactly matcher of type value. Okay, so for value. This wants to be like values. Value index of values for like oh wait, I probably don't want to iterate over the values. I probably want to iterate over the match first. For expected value in matcher.values for actual value in values matched is going to get false. If not matched, return false. Return true. And then here matched or equals expected value equals actual value. Yeah? This seems like a matcher to me. And will this work at all? Well, first I want to grab the emails. And it's going to be just like an array of strings and like for selected users actual uppercase emails. So for selected users, array add actual uppercase emails, it dot uppercase email. And then we want to expect actual uppercase emails to contain exactly these three emails, but all capitalized. Let's see what happens, yeah? I bet this goes poorly. Semicolons! Always semicolons! Where though? 174. Yep. Huh? Oh. Yeah, I don't even know how to define a function, do I? Cool. Unidentified, undeclared identifier SQL where? Because that doesn't exist. How does this work? You just define it, yeah? Okay. Or equals can only be used at statement level? Is it not? I bet I need parens. Whoa, did that really pass? That's incredible. Okay, okay. Now I wonder... You look like selected users to contain exactly. It's gonna be like a selected user here. Oh, I guess I don't know the IDs that I'm getting out, so that's nonsense. Wow. Look how this is wild. And if I change the order of these, still passes. But if I change that to a lowercase p, Failure. Oh man. I love it. Incredible. Okay. That's much more legible than that, too. Wow. What a test we've got. We got the begin, we got the rollback, we got everything we need. Amazing. What all did we do? We defined a new matcher. Contain exactly. Matches. The SQL select spec. We pulled those out. Tweaked some escaping. And oh yeah, dropped that in. This is so great. What tests do we have left? Just SQL execute, which just does this one. We just have this one tiny test, huh? Where all do we call this from? This is like a few places, right? Oh, you know what? I bet this really wants to be... I wonder how much this actually gets called. Never? No, it gets called here in SQL select. This should move into SQL select. And that's the only place where we call it. And is it like, is it even useful? I guess so. I don't know. We call it in here. I feel like it's like really the whole body of this is just doing this one little bit. I feel like I'll leave it. Why not? Why change it? Okay, but I can pull out this one last test, which seems like a great thing to do before I go to lunch. Cool. Let's get SQL execute spec going. Cool. I'm going to expect this to equal that. It replaces question mark placeholders with index $1 placeholders. I wonder if I have all the correct like it's everywhere in the specs that I was just writing. Definitely still forgetting semicolons everywhere. Great, okay. We have effectively no more at test directives. I'm gonna pull out this, and I think I can just like stop this whole compiler begin intercept, right? Does this work now? Nope. Where am I? Repo.j, line 32. Huh. Not message, break, if message.kind equals complete, break And then that's all. We're just going to do that and wait. Okay, life is good. Everything works. We got to delete the super simple test runner in favor of JSpec. Look at these specs. Look at these specs we've got. All right. And what are we changing these? Oh yeah, I deleted a test from there. And did I change anything here? Oh, I moved this in here. Okay. Let me make sure it builds one more time. Cool. Oh, and you know what? Now that I fixed that stuff, I bet I can get rid of that. Yeah, exactly. This business was because every time I built, I was inserting a whole bunch of records, which was like messing with my output. But now we don't have that problem anymore. Right? Just 2 users. Even if I build over and over again, when I count the number of users, only 2. Alright. Finish porting specs. Done. Alright, so and would be fun. This will be fun. These things are all interesting. The other thing is, like, I don't know, maybe I've got like a good enough foundation. Should we just like build repos? Right, because like a repo currently just has like a find, but it's easy to imagine that it would return records that you could like, I don't know, save and, I don't know, join? Do we want to join? I feel like for now I'm down to say maybe start with find and add like a save, you know? And this can like inspect like if the ID of the record is present or not, and like do the right stuff and figure things out in a cutesy way. Life is gonna be good, but not right now because I gotta have lunch. All right, fun streaming. Bye, everybody.